Thousands of dollars, no joke. That's how much we would have paid for a little kit like this, and you guys, you get it for a couple of $100 bucks. G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and as we move into FPV in 2025, I am absolutely amazed at what we can get today. Back when I started FPV almost a decade ago, no joke, we would have paid thousands, multiple thousands of dollars for a kit like this, and you guys, you get to experience for close to a couple of $100 bucks. So what we're looking at today, this is from HG. This is their little Draknight, and let me tell you, it is an absolute monster. Like this thing, it is so fast, it is so much fun, and it comes in a ready-to-fly kit. So if you're a beginner, well, strap yourself in because it's going to be a lot of fun. And also, if you're an experienced FPV pilot, you need to watch it as well, because not only are we talking about the kit that beginners are going to get, but also this little weapon right here, it's like close to $100. So it is an absolute rocket. We're going to catch up with Stickman Steve as well, see what he thinks, rip this thing around, and then a big one, we're going to compare it to the Lightning V2. So this is one of my all-time favorite drones I have ever flown. This little style, I truly believe, is the future of FPV. If you've never tried a little 2-inch, it is absolutely amazing. You can fly it anywhere. It has so much speed, so much power, and it's relatively cheap as well. It's not going to annoy anybody. Now, look, I'm going to do this video a little bit differently because it's so much fun. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go out to the field. We'll catch up with Stickman Steve, and we'll rip this thing around. You can see the footage, and then we're going to come back to the bench. And if you're a beginner, we're going to break it down, talk about the radio, the pros and cons, the goggles, which are not really my favorite. And then the big one, even if you're not a beginner and you've already got your kit, binding it up to like a little Draknight here, the little 2-inch, there's some things you need to know about that as well to have an awesome time. So let's go do it. Let's go to the field and then back to the studio for some things you don't want to miss in 3, 2, 1. Radio out here in the field. We got Stickman Steve, or as Sticko, as some of you guys were saying, checking out the Draknight right here. And this is very exciting because this is one of the closest competitors to the Lightning V2, which is my all-time favorite drone I've ever reviewed. This one from HG. We're going to scream it around. We got the analog version, but this is the ready-to-fly kit. So everything you need to get up and get flying. You saw it on the bench. Let's put it through some hot laps, give you my impressions, and hand it over to this legend himself and see what he thinks. All right, let's do it. Oh, and sorry about the wind. I'm trying to fix the audio. First thing I noticed when I put these on, the screen is absolutely tiny, and you're not going to see any DVR because unless I'm an idiot, and look, that's debatable, but and Stickman Steve as well, we could not find where the DVR from this goes for. So we're going to be recording some DVR on the Sky Zones. The screen, it's really, really small. I like how I can focus it. It's a little bit telescopic, zooming it in and out. It's still going to take some getting used to. Remember, this is about as cheap as the kits can get with an awesome drone that's included. The radio, however, I do really like the shape in the hand. I like how I did change my arm switch. I put it over to the correct side, so I've got mine here. A little like latching switch. Let's take it for a spin, see how it goes. It was bound up straight out of the box. The drone itself, give it a little punch out because I feel like that's the star of the show right here. And remember, tiny little drone. We are fighting the wind though, like it punched up in the sky pretty quick, but when it comes to this wind, we are getting absolutely hammered. Let's go a little bit further out here. Hopefully I don't crash into Steve's car like last time. Woo! Oh man, you feel it with that wind. We are getting blown around quite a lot.
Doesn't look like it's bobbling too much.
No, the drone actually itself is a fairly stable craft. Like it does feel good in the air. You can feel it on the cheaper sticks on the radio though, like it's not as responsive. Yeah. It feels like you're using some of those really cheap gimbals. The radio itself is comfortable in the hands. I love it. It's got those 18650s or those larger cells in there. And you can charge it by USB, like it's a very easy to use kit.
Plug straight into Betaflight so you could do your channel mapping as well.
It did, yeah. It was very easy to set up. Everything was kind of like I guess a normal kit. It's just a very, very cheap version. You can see just how much the wind is affecting this. The goggles themselves took a little bit to get used to. The breakup is better than I was expecting with these tiny little antennas on here. So hopefully that's going to come across. Well, it's going to be difficult to represent that because it's no DVR on here. I'm feeling it a little bit on my forehead, although I've sort of forgotten just how small this screen is. I've gotten used to it. When I first put them on, it was a little bit alarming, to say the least. Where's my battery voltage? Getting some okay flight times. But man, yeah, this wind is making this very, very tricky. Oh no! Oh. I wonder if I can come through this, but this is where I smashed my original Lightning. And I don't have the skills here to be able to do that. With this wind, I feel like that radio is letting me down. I can fly better, and I'm not making excuses here. I can fly better than what this radio is letting me do. So I like the shape. Again, it's just a cheap radio that I feel like is not as, the resolution feels quite lacking, where I don't have the fidelity to complete some of the turns and twists that I want. But what we should do, I'm going to bring it in. We're heading over to Stickman 7. I'm going to do a couple more little punch outs so people can see it screaming around. Whoa, okay. There we are very high. Coming in for a landing right there. Alright, got to remember where my arm switch is. The battery voltage has held up quite well actually. Like, we're still at 3.7 volts,
yeah, that's
surprisingly.
crazy.
Yeah. So we're getting some longer flight times. It is using a larger battery than what I use on the Lightning. Although I don't feel that weight too much. Yeah,
You just want to keep ripping it.
I do. I am having fun. I don't mind the colors as well. It's a little bit darker in the screen, but it's still a nice, vibrant picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just having a sneaky look on the sky zones. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna bring it in. See how this disarm goes. See if I can land back on this block right here.
Nice.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. Do I have a mark on my face around here?
A little bit on your schnauzer.
It's not a comfortable pair of goggles. I'm feeling it actually on the top of my head a little bit, like it was pressing in. The drone itself, I think that's the absolute winner of this package. I don't want to talk too much about the radio or the goggles just yet. Let's hand it over to Stickman Steve, get his impressions, because he's done the Lightning V1, he's done analog Lightnings, he's upgraded them to walk style, he's done the Lightning V2. So I'm really interested to see what you think when you're flying around this. So we'll talk about the kit and then the Draknight specifically and how it goes.
Cool.
All right. Alrighty, Steve's putting the goggles on. What's the first thing you notice?
It's like I'm looking down a periscope.
Okay, yeah, they're pretty small. It's a pretty small screen, isn't it?
It's tiny. I'm going to zoom in a bit. I'll wait till I got a picture before I make a
Okay,
decision,
you can probably have a look at the lettering on there, like the OSD
Yeah.
menus and things. That's how I focus mine. Just hold the radio for a second.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on that? So I put my arm
That's
switch
good.
over here. How's it feel in the hand?
Yeah, it feels good. Like a little Xbox or something, yeah?
Yep.
Like that gamepad style. Still pretty good. I pinch, so
Yes.
yeah, it feels
All right,
fine.
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I put my arm switch just here on that one.
Great.
So the latching switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about like a couple of buttons and ready to go?
I think it's great. Like, as we just said before, you plugged it into Betaflight
Yes.
to get your arm switched the side you wanted it.
Yep.
You can do your mode switches and all that. I think that's an important part. For someone getting into the hobby, they need to be able to do all that and learn about that. So competitors, you know, like you got your Cetus kit and all that, you can't do any of that. You hit the wrong switch on those and all of a sudden we're going to
Sorry,
die.
I was just getting, this bug was on my net.
We're going to die.
What
That's
is
a
that?
cicada.
Well, it was crawling around on my neck. You got one on you, bro. Oh no, that was a moth. Okay, back to reviews.
Back to
back to
reviews.
these bugs. Yeah, sorry. You like being able to plug this in and just be able to use it with Betaflight?
I think it's super important for people getting into the hobby. You know, obviously, they're just trying to see if they like it. They're dipping their toes in the pond.
Yep.
Being able to do all that opens up the whole world of FPV to them,
Yes.
right? So they're going to be able to tune it, do whatever they want. I think that's great.
It
And
would have worked out of the box like this. I made like the arm
Yeah.
switch, me just changing it.
Yeah.
But it is nice to be able to have those.
Exactly,
those options.
customizable, you know, and it's just part of the hobby. So being
right.
able to do that straight off the bat is great. I think the controller itself feels quite robust, quite good.
Yes.
Obviously,
I'm going to be interested to see what you think about the resolution of the sticks
Yeah.
in there. So the gimbals are probably
Yep.
something I'm quite interested in to hear your thoughts.
Quite good though, just feeling it for a ready to fly kit straight out of the box. Not too bad. The goggles, yeah, we'll see,
Okay.
especially mixed with analog.
Yep.
But
All right.
yeah, we'll
let's.
see.
You ready to rip it around?
Yeah. Is that a fresh pack?
Yep. Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, I have to zoom it out.
Yeah. See,
focus.
I felt too uncomfortable with our old eyes.
Yeah. Alright, we'll see how we go.
I noticed the little LED in the back of that, which is probably a plus over the original Lightning.
Yeah.
Now, you know the wind. I'm going to just remind you, it's fast one way and hard into the wind. That sounds very inappropriate, but the wind's really going to push you around right here. All right, tell me, I'm going to ask you about the goggles first, because you can see that as soon as you put that on. How's the screen?
I'm not enjoying them.
Okay.
Yeah, everything just looks so far away. You got no sort of perception of depth.
Yes.
So being able to judge things, oh God, yeah, nah. I don't like them, to be honest.
Yep.
I think we're just a little bit spoiled, but coming into the hobby, yep, they serve a purpose.
Could you fly with them if you're a beginner?
Yeah, definitely. It would take some getting used to coming back to something this small.
Yes.
I don't think I'd ever fully enjoy them.
Yep. Are you getting any breakup or anything like that?
I'm not really. A little bit of flickering, but honestly, it's not too bad.
Okay. And what about the comfort levels?
Yeah, not too bad. I just loosen the straps off. I just sort of got it hanging. Oh, there's a lot of wind there.
Yeah, it's very gusty right now.
Full throttle, yeah. Nah.
Okay, I'm going to focus a little bit on the radio because I want to give you some time with the actual drone itself to get used to. How's the radio feel in your hands?
Pretty good.
All right.
Honestly, to hold and to use is fine.
Do you feel like it's limiting your flying abilities at all or holding you back? Or?
Not as much as analog is.
Okay, so you feel like the video is the harder part to fly with right here with that?
With the goggles, yeah.
With those goggles and the actual radio.
Very narrow field of view.
Interesting.
It's so zoomed out.
Yeah, because I'm watching on the Sky Zones and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, and the drone itself feels great. Like there's no prop wash or anything. Very responsive even in the wind.
Yep.
I don't know if I've ever told you, but I actually built a Draknight with a 1S walk snail kit in it.
And how was that?
It was really good. That's when I had the first V1 Lightning.
Yes.
And I broke it. So I got a little cheap frame from HGLRC and thought I'll give this one a go. But I had a desync when I was flipping over some trees and as it fell it broke.
Okay.
But yeah, look, honestly I think this drone's pretty damn awesome. For a 2-inch, I'd say without having digital in it, it's almost comparable to the Lightning.
Does it feel similar to the Lightning besides the digital part? Yeah. What do you prefer?
Not as fast. I prefer the Lightning for the speed.
This one has a little bit bigger battery in there, so about an extra 20% size of the battery. But we did get pretty good flight times on this as well.
Yeah.
And this one has a nice little LED in the back, which I must say I quite like.
And it's got a buzzer too, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so if you, I mean, we all know how hard these little things are to find. If you drop them in some long grass or in some trees or whatever. As far as the frame design goes, I think they're great. They got that similar style, the YZ FPV, whatever it is.
Yep, yep.
With that slope back canopy, I love the look of it. I really do.
Oh, look at that. You're on like a 30-degree angle just to stay. And there goes your chalky milk.
Yeah. No, that was cool. That's good.
Video, Steve, final thoughts. The Draknight, $299 for the kit itself. And then we can talk about the drone itself. So as a kit, what did you like? What did you not like?
I like the controller.
All right.
I actually really like the controller. For an entry level,
yep.
Like my first ready to fly kit I bought was the Cetus.
Yes.
And that was just hard. Everything about it was hard. I know people might like it as an entry level, but this thing will shred it.
Oh yeah.
This radio will do you. You can do sims. It's got ELRS straight up.
Yep.
Nice to hold. The gimbals didn't feel terrible.
All right.
I must say I didn't mind them. As opposed to the goggles that you get.
Yep.
I think there's a lot to be desired with the goggles. Especially as a beginner, you're gonna sort of set the standard for yourself with this tiny far away screen. You know, you're trying to progress. You're trying to see the lines and gaps that you're trying to hit. It's pretty difficult with a small screen.
It is, and something I think is worth noting. You have, well, I guess let you talk about the drone, right?
I've had a Draknight in the past.
Not with these components though.
Not with these components,
yep.
And
You've
not analog.
Yeah,
and digital. I think the drone itself is by far the star.
Yes.
They're awesome. They really are good. I prefer the YZ FPV.
Yep.
I think just the design and the lightweight, they feel faster than this ever did.
Yes.
But for a ready to fly kit, these are great. Awesome. That drone's going to last you.
I want to say, like, they would have seen my bench parts. I think I prefer this frame with the split arm. I think it's a better design.
Okay.
But what you're saying with like the performance of this thing and trying to marry that though with these goggles, that is a hard point because this is so fast.
It is.
You kind of need higher quality goggles to be able to see.
You do.
And this is demanding more just fidelity that you don't get with that set of goggles.
I think having the ability to plug the drone in to a decent software and customize it, you can do your rates and all that.
Yep.
I think that's probably one of the things that beginners buying the kit are going to want to look at doing and learn, just to slow it down, just to sort of ease yourself into it, because a drone like that can do so much cool stuff and rip hard, might be a bit much for a beginner.
Okay.
That married in with the box goggles,
Yep.
I don't think is ideal.
Yes.
But being able to slow the drone down to learn with is fine. And once you start upgrading, you've still got an awesome drone. Turn it back up to 100 and send it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Having the prop guards be...
Yeah, isn't it a weird situation? They've like given us it's a beginner kit, but the drone is too good almost for beginners.
Awesome. Yeah.
So,
yeah, they're a great little drone. They really are.
All right. No worries. And what do you think about $299 for everything?
Not bad. Pretty good.
All right. Yeah. Would you, if you were coming at FPV, would you get this kit?
I wish there was something like this as opposed to what I ended up with the Cetus.
Okay.
Not to slander on Beta FPV, but that kit sucked.
Okay.
This thing's much better.
Yep.
Yeah. So for the money, definitely, dude.
I kind of feel the same way. All right. Thank you, Steve.
Cool, man.
Alrighty, so now you've seen how this thing performs. It is fast, you get good flight times. I guess what we should talk about the Draknight itself before we talk about the radio and the goggles and some essential things you need to know. You do get little chargers and spare props and all that sort of jazz, but these are the main components, the exciting part. The Draknight itself, I really like its frame. When we compare it to the Lightning 2, you can see it is a very, very similar shape. Now look, this is my custom Lightning 2. I have done a few little changes, iterations, and that sort of stuff. But this one, I think I actually prefer the arms on two separate thinner arms per arm, if that makes sense, rather than one large one. We can put those side by side. So I feel like I like how it's got those two little parts right there. All in one, of course. This is an analog solution. I built this one to be with digital, but that's reflected in the price. So we've got, I think it's about $114. I do wish it had a different ceramic antenna, but when it marries up to this, I don't think you're going to be pushing it long range or anything like that with this little radio. Of course, tri-props. It feels great in the air. We don't have the best camera protection, and I think that might be a bit of an issue because this thing, it goes so fast. You're going to have so much fun, and if this is meant to be a beginner kit, that's where things start to get a little bit crazy. It's almost like giving a new learner driver just an absolute race car because that is how fast this thing goes. If you've got the skills to pay the bills, you're going to have an awful lot of fun with this. But if it was my craft, one thing I would change, I'd probably be swapping out that little receiver right here. And the little spoiler on the back, well, that probably can just get ripped off. That's just going to be a little bit of extra weight. And I do, however, prefer the battery size. I think the 720 milliamp hours versus the 520 milliamp hours. Hang on. So the batteries right here, 550 versus 720. The flight times of this, I do really like. I feel like it just makes it go a little bit further than on the Lightning V2, although this I feel is a little bit quicker. Now, the other things I want to mention, this is where I was kind of divided. So for me, Steve really liked the radio, but I felt this was letting it down. The resolution just didn't quite feel there when I was trying to push this thing to its limits because that's how fast this thing is. Like, you need a great radio to be able to keep up. And that's what I felt was holding me back. However, Steve really liked it. He's a pinching pilot, which I found interesting. I did try to put the pocket gimbals in here. They did not fit. So, but it's sort of got everything you need. It's got enough switches and angle modes. It was really easy to set up. No screen though. And just as a bit of a comparison, it goes to show how amazing the price difference is between like this right here, HGLRC's radio, or the Radio Master Pocket. There's only like $15 between the base Pocket and this, and it is a night and day difference. So for me, that was probably the part that let me down. But on the flip side, the part that Steve didn't like, but I really had no issues, once I'd adjusted to it, is these little goggles. Of course, we've got two antennas, so we've got some diversity reception right here. No DVR, charged by USB, really, really easy to use. Once you get used to it, I didn't find it was going cross-eyed or anything like that, but it's never gonna be as comfortable as some other big kits. So these things right here, they are very, very beginner focused, and the whole kit for like $299, it's kind of like about as cheap as you can get to still have an amazing experience. Like, yes, I'm probably going to want to upgrade the radio if I got this as a gift because I'm going to fall in love with FPV. The goggles themselves, they're going to be ride-along goggles, but you sort of like, it's not going to be the star of the show. The real star of the show is this right here, the little Draknight. But the price, you can't really complain. Like, I don't know how they could make it any cheaper. Now, on the flip side, this video right here, this is like the best way to start FPV, but that's like $480 or $490. That's coming with digital and a pocket radio, and I understand the massive price difference. But let me know, what do you think? Would you start with this? For me, it's just absolutely insane that you can start this today. If you want to try analog FPV, this is an amazing amount of fun without going to break the bank.